I am unashamed. What about you?
So, you know, people ask me all the time, everywhere I go, they're like, you know, is Uncle Si, you know, as crazy as he is in real life as he is on the show and the podcast and all these ways to see him? And I always say, look, you don't know anything until you spend a little time around my Uncle Si. He has been a gift to us for many years. And we decided we want to give you a very special gift through the Unashamed podcast, having what we're calling the best of Si. For Christmas. And because we've had some great moments with Si on the podcast, we thought it'd be great to share them with you. So check it out. Your Christmas present from the Unashamed Nation is the best of Si.
Yeah. He wears a size hat about 40. But hey, speaking about that, when I come in the military and got drafted, my drill sergeant, I could take a bath in his hat. I'm serious. Hey, this boy weighed 450 pounds, but you had to respect him, okay?
Yeah.
Because, look, I took AIT on Fort Bragg.
I don't.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Oh, no, not AIT, basic. I took base on Fort Bragg.
That's where they holler at you, though.
You do not walk on Fort Bragg. I mean, Fort. I can't even think of the name right now.
Hope?
Anyway, it's in Georgia.
Oh.
Fort Benning?
Fort Benning, Georgia. Okay. You do not walk there, so you run everywhere. Well, we run everywhere. Well, I'm 130 pounds, so I ain't worried about running. Okay, he's carrying 450, and he run everywhere we did. So, hey, you had to respect the man.
So Martin reminds you of this guy?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So Martin's a large man.
Look, when we
well, you got Stone, but he never says anything.
Yeah. No, Stone's quiet. No, look, when we seen the drill sergeant coming, we lost the drill sergeant, and he showed up. Big Oaf is what we called him, behind his back. We wouldn't say it to his face.
You didn't say it to his face.
You didn't say it to his face. But anyway, look, we see a taxi cab coming down. Look, the right side of it is sparking. It looks like somebody's got a grinder going, but it's a taxi cab. It pulls up, and when he steps out, then it comes up where it ain't grinding,
So
He was dragging, you know.
Are you sure he didn't weigh more than 450
Oh,
pounds?
no, hey, he was a man, and look, he's about 6'6", okay?
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, no, he was a man.
He was your drill instructor?
And he was my drill instructor. Look,
He didn't holler at you, did he?
did he holler at me? Hey, at graduation, I'm in dress greens.
Yeah.
And he got in my face, and I started laughing because I never could. The whole time I had him, he'd get right in my just nose to nose. And when he did, I couldn't help but laugh, and he'd drop me. I did 350 push-ups. Just
Because you couldn't quit laughing.
couldn't laugh. He'd say, knock out 50. So, you know, maggot.
He didn't.
You know,
He called you maggot?
Yeah,
Maggot.
Yeah, you know, and I'd knock out 50 and jump back up. He'd get right against my nose again. I'd bust out laughing. Get down, maggot. Give me 50 more. I've done 300. Hey, 350. Finally got the laughing and the grinning off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't use any four-letter words, did he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He used words like drop, maggot. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, but you agree basically with the sentiment that Blue has been the best retrieving lab we've ever had in terms of what he can do.
No doubt.
But the most annoying lab we've ever had.
He's just a how would I word this? He's an undisciplined child that's running amok. Okay, and look, and Biggin ain't no better.
No,
okay, because you know,
I'm starting to think maybe it's the owner. It's an owner problem. Maybe they're taking the atmosphere of their ownership. Maybe it's going from owner to dog.
It's a fire issue. They have that fire.
Yeah, here's what I've learned. Okay, if I was to go out and buy me a retriever, the last thing I'm going to buy me is a male dog.
Yeah.
Okay. Because, hey, you know, prime example, Phil's prime example. Okay. Males are hard to headed.
What happened to that dog you had on the show? What was that? thing?
Killer.
A poodle.
The poodler.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Oh, no.
Hey, maybe we need to thank Poodle. That was one of the top retrieving poodle lab poodles.
I
Yeah,
was
but hey,
impressed.
they got issues too, because hey, I killed a dove. He went out there and got it, come running by me, and he was running by me too fast, so I grabbed him. Well, poodles are real tender skin. Okay, so I pinched him, and he tried to bite me. So I had to send that clown back to Georgia for remedial training.
I was wondering what happened to that dog.
It's the number one question I get from kids. Of course, now they're growing up. They're teenagers, but they were kids at the time when they were watching the show. Does Uncle Si still have that dog? I can't tell you how many times you get that question when you're on the road.
Look, that's the most. I got. They made a big poster out of that picture where the guy's panning, and there's me and Killer sitting up there. Yeah, I've signed that more times. I've signed that one more times than anything.
And that dog tried to bite it. Well, at least my dog hadn't tried to bite me.
Yeah. What's in his heart and his mind?
Is that why you didn't wear clothes the first 10 or 12 years of your life?
Well, it may have been, but I'm a free spirit.
I remember,
Even when they describe,
I remember when Ma, when you were 6 years old, and everybody was going toward the school bus, pull up there out there, and but you were naked. I mean, like you came out of my mama's loins. You were naked, and you said, "Nope, no clothes for me." And you had a scuffle there, and she had to take out her belt and tear your butt up, and because said you're gonna wear clothes, and you said, "I'm never wearing clothes." You wanted to run naked, Si.
So you had wisdom before. I mean, you had that wisdom before it was time. But can you imagine the kids on that school bus? They see all them kids come running out, and they're like, "Hey, one of those kids,
Hey,
he doesn't
here
have
was the
clothes
thing on
on."
that.
You didn't wear clothes. I remember it was up to 6 because I watched you grow up. You just didn't wear clothes. Well, I got used to it.
Here's what I had in me is I was pure. I was innocent. Okay, so hey, I was unashamed.
There you go.
Okay, seriously, when you think about that, it's just a gun. Hey, because that brings me back. I didn't even know how to put on the gown in the hospital.
Oh boy,
I put it on the wrong way. No, serious. I've got it, and the opener's in front. And I said, "Hey, why even give me the gown?" I said, "I'm gonna be showing my behind anyway."
But you couldn't tie the gown. You couldn't find where the gown is tied.
Yeah.
If you.
I put it on backwards. Yeah. But I just told him, I said, "Hey, look, why not just leave me in my birthday suit? Forget the stupid gown."
Yeah. You were going back to your childhood, Si.
Hey, that's it. Hey, give me freedom, boys, or give me death, period.
Little Patrick Henry from Uncle Si.
I'm baiting up a trot line, catching catfish,
This is a really sad story.
and I'm out in the middle of the Red River over there, and I'm baiting up my line, and I see a vehicle pull up on the bank, a bluff over there, and it was Si. And Si said, "Hey," he said, "Miss Kay's having that baby," talking about Jase. And I was baiting my hooks. I looked up. I said, "What do you want me to do about it?" And he said, "Well,
This is
she wants to know what you want to name him." I said, "Name him after you." And I just kept baiting my line. I saw him sliding sideways leaving. Well, he said, "Now we're getting somewhere. The Silas name will go on forever."
So for clarification, this was pre-Jesus, right?
Yeah, this is 1969.
Yeah. This is way before I met Jesus.
Yeah.
So, Si, was your purpose in going was to get Dad, I guess, right?
No. Kay said, "Hey, go talk to my husband and find out what he wants to name this son."
So she
really wanted to know what to name it.
But she didn't want you to actually try to get him to come back with you?
No.
That wasn't even an option.
Oh, no, she knew that wasn't even an option. Okay, he's on the river. Her pioneer man is out doing what he's supposed to be doing in the woods, catching fish or killing something.
But by the way, Si named him. Phil said, "Name him after me," so it'll be Jason Silas Robertson. And without us realizing it marked him. And they've been at each other ever since.
That's probably a good thing, though. Because he's got a lot of my mannerisms because I kept him when he was
Well, I was going to say, there's a little more to it because actually you and Christine kept
we
it
actually kept him
during the
when he was a
formative
baby.
years.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard
Stubborn.
enough of these old stories. Let's get down.
Loves to argue.
Let's get down to some Bible here.
Okay, that's
Good work, man. Let's move on.
that's the side of the story time is over.
Well, it wasn't casting Phil in a very good light.
We're living in some dangerous times. That's why we go around, including this podcast, reminding people loving God and loving each other should not be a foreign concept. It should be embraced and practiced, and we would be far better off any way you want to slice it.
That's what I don't get about it. In today's world, worldwide, after you're looking at everything going on, we've tried it the world's way. Common sense tells me, hey, let's try it God's way. Love your fellow man and treat him as you would want to be treted. Let's try that move and see what happens.
I think that'd be a good move.
No doubt about it.
And, we're going to protect ourselves. That's the missing link here. That's what happens sometimes is I think Christians get bowed into the idea like, but turn the other cheek. Therefore we are to do what Beto O'Rourke says and just, turn all our guns in and just say, come get us.
Well, that's why you got to have you got to have both. I mean, you got to have the spiritual side. There's plenty of verses. The weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. Right. They demolish strongholds because they take captive thoughts, the thoughts of people, and that's why you share Jesus. And like I said, you share these love principles. I think that should just be mandatory for all schools.
No doubt.
The name you don't have to say it came from the Bible. It's just you have a course that you must take with algebra, geometry. It's called love. And you take those principles. I think there's 15 of them in that section, 1 Corinthians 13. And you can have guest speakers, whoever you want. But this is where as we function as a society, this is the best case scenario, at least where they hear it, from all walks of life. Because I don't know anybody that can't unite on those principles.
Right.
I read that they told me not to. I spoke at a community event in Indiana. I think I might have told y'all about that. It was honoring the firefighters and the military, but they said we don't want you to bring up the Bible because we're trying to appeal, to all people, and some of those people may not be believers. So I was like, okay, sure. So I talked about the author, which was my justification. I was like, if I was in y'all's line of work and there was a way to live forever, I'd want to know about it. So I'm going to share with you what I believe in Jesus. But I did that. But then I quoted 1 Corinthians 13. Love is kind, love is patient, doesn't rejoice in evil. It always protects, it always trusts. Well, then after that, the line formed and, I was taking pictures and talking to people. And several people said, where was that poem that you read? I said, that was in the Bible. And they were like, that's in the Bible? I was like, yeah. It's like, why? I didn't know that. So we think everybody would know that.
Right.
But it was multiple people. And I thought, that's why you should teach that.
Well, no, because I want to go back to you when you was talking about the principle and the automation thing. Why would you push the panic
your
button?
whiskers are in the mic. Now they're all of it.
Why would you push the panic button of 2,500 parents saying, okay, we've got people on campus with guns.
Well, so they wanted to let us know.
Yeah, then what you doing? You're going to cause a traffic jam. Every parent.
Well, then the next one was don't come here. Yeah. But you've already told them. Right. Of course they're going to go.
Well, the next message was now come get your kid. It was like 1:30. Yeah. Now this is kind of funny. It's really not.
Yeah,
it's really not. But I'm going to tell you what happened. Missy said the media, of course, is out there filming it. Of course, you got to remember in Louisiana around noon. It's 100 degrees in September. And they're just like trying to get the shots because Miss said the lines, there's thousands of kids here and then there's thousands of parents coming to get them. And it's hot. And she said about 20 minutes into the filming, she hears a ruckus, hears sirens, and they walk down. Well, the anchor of the news team, she's had a heat stroke in the parking lot. And Missy's like, we're literally walking over the media to get in to pick up our kids.
You're stepping over them because they've fallen up.
Because when she came in, I was like, well, how'd that go? And she's like, oh, it's all chaos, But look, welcome to our society.
Well, no, but that's why I'm saying, okay, to me, that's a no-brainer. This is one of these things you do not do.
I think
you're fixing to cause worldwide panic.
Well, that's what happened.
What?
It was worldwide panic.
Welcome back to Unashamed. 'Tis the season, as they say. It's Christmas time, which is always a favorite. I do love giving people ideas about things they can get. And if you go to philmerch.com, use the promo code Phil20. Got a lot of Unashamed gear that's there. Make great gifts. There's some uncanceled stuff there. Love Always Protects is a great t-shirt. So if you're looking at a Christmas idea, check out philmerch.com. Use the promo code Phil20 to save you some money and get a great gift.
That's one of the things that one of the best, I guess, testimonies I ever gave was in a casino in Las Vegas.
Ooh, tell me more, son.
No, I'm serious, and it was about what you was talking about. I'm sitting there. Me and Philip was playing poker. Okay, I got busted out. Philip's still doing good. So I'm sitting over there.
That doesn't happen very often, does it?
So no. Anyway, this woman keeps walking by, and she's looking, and I know what's going on. She's recognized, So finally, she passes by about 4 or 5 times. She comes, just sits down beside me, and says, "We got to settle this. Are you him?" And I bust out laughing and said, "Well, that depends on who him is."
Yeah.
And she said, "Well, the Duck Dynasty guy." I said, "Yes, I'm here." So we get to talking, and I'm sitting there thinking about, all right, how am I going to bring Jesus into this?
That's a good way to be thinking.
No. So I'm sitting there doing this, and she asked me, and it's so fun. She said, "You're a big celebrity. You must have met 1,000 people. Who's the neatest guy you ever met?" Well, I started laughing. And she said, "Well, what's funny?" I said, "Well, I was sitting here thinking about how can I bring Jesus to you, and now you've asked me." And I said, "Hey, now here's the deal. Jesus is the coolest man I've ever met in my life."
That's a good answer.
And I said, "And here's why." And this blew her mind away, because she was a beautiful young lady, And I said, "You are a fine little babe." Just like that. And when I said it, she goes like that. And I said, "And I've got a problem with fine babes." I said, "Now here's the neat thing. Here's the neat thing about Jesus, why he's the coolest man I know. He can look at you and not go where I go. He looks at you as a sister, okay?" And I said, "I ain't been able to put it off." And I said, "You got to understand something here. He was flesh and blood just like I was." Mm-hmm. I said, "But with one big difference. He never sinned. He never made, And I said, so with this goes on and on. I'm thinking I'm supposed to be witnessing to this lady. Well, there's a lady about 10 chairs over, just drunk as a skunk. Mm-hmm. Okay, and the whole time I'm talking, she's moving. She's chair hopping, like musical chairs.
So you're getting closer to the conversation.
Yeah. So this lady says, "Mr. Robertson, it's been a pleasure, and I've really enjoyed talking to you, but me and my husband's got to go." I said, "Okay, darling." I said, "It was a pleasure meeting you, and hey, remember who the coolest man I ever met is."
Yeah, I think you did good.
But awesome. Anyway, so this lady says, "You go out in the wilderness a lot, don't you?" And I looked and I said, "If you mean the woods, I hunt a lot, yeah." And
so you said, look like you've been in the wilderness.
Well, no.
That's a natural question.
No, because she says that, and I laugh because I said, "Okay, if you mean in the woods, yeah." So she said, "I wish I could go out in the wilderness instead of come up here and getting drunk." And I said, "Darling," I said, "Hey, here's number one deal. You make the choice to come up here and get drunk.
Yeah.
Here's my charge to you. Instead of coming up here and getting drunk and wasting your money, you go find you somebody, church of your choice, and you go and stay with them. I said, because here's the bottom line. It's easier to be a Christian if you surround yourself with people of like mind.
Yeah.
All them stories really is my life.
That's right.
That's what I mean. But it's like really Forrest Gump, because some of them you're like, how could he be here and there? But they can't make a movie about you, because when you ran like Forrest Gump, you ran naked for the first few years.
Most people think that he's putting on an act, and then the real Si is just a normal person around. You know?
Oh, I know.
They don't think he's really like
But that's
that.
really Si.
That's him.
I had one of these news media back in the Duck Dynasty day, and they were kind of
Remember, he's
saying that.
next to the last in the family structure. And by then, the genetics and it's
No, I've heard that argument.
They done got special. They done got special genetics out.
This media outlet was trying to, like, I think it was the paparazzi with his restaurant. They were asking me about that. They're like, come on, this Si character.
Yeah.
I said, well, let me just ask you something, if you don't mind. Let me ask the question. If Si was just a character that was made up, how come he hasn't got an Academy Award and Emmy? This is the grading acting performance of our lifetime.
Yeah. On a reality show.
And the media person was looking like, it's a pretty good point. I thought, you can't make this stuff up.
It was like when we talked about it, Si, recently on the Today Show when y'all did the interview. Matt Lauer was trying to make a big deal about it being a scripted show. And I remember Si saying, do you think you can script me? I mean, good luck with that. I'd be a script's worst nightmare.
Well, no, because I actually said that on television, Fox and Friends, I think. The last thing they said before we went live was, don't use the word script. And then they asked some question, and I said, well, hey, look, he walks out there and hands me the sheet of paper with something written on it, and I look at it and crumble it up. I said, hey, I'm a director's worst nightmare. So, don't give me a script.
So you described the script without saying the word. That's what.
Yeah. Everybody there just went, oh.
You can't spell script without Si.
That's right, boys.
We can play this game all day.
That's right.
Well, and I learned a long time ago, the last thing you do, because Dad's done a lot of media, the last thing you want to do is tell Dad, don't say something right before the camera rolls, because that's going to be the first thing he says.
Oh, that's
as soon as
exactly
what we learned that a long time ago.
He'll get up in the mic. No icebreaker. My son informed me that I should, and here we go. He's whatever just happened.
That's right. Don't do this. Here we go.
Yeah, but
that's pretty much alarm clock 101.
He didn't want to go.
We're sitting on 9 till 7 on Saturday, 2 yesterday. And if I'd had Jase as another gun hand, instead of 9, we'd be sitting on 12, 13. But we're not seeing many.
I think you just gave me a compliment. So that's the first one. Yeah. Every 10 years, you need to throw one out.
And I don't know if that'd be true or not, because they can't, if they don't bunch up, I can't kill them like I normally kill them.
So they were spread out.
I've noticed something about you, Si. When I'm not there, your killing percentage goes way down. You know why?
I don't hear that.
Because you can't claim the ducks that I'm shooting.
Si does much better when the teal light on the water ball up,
right before.
And they're not swimming. They're just sitting on the water.
And he shoots simultaneously with the other hunters.
He's a ground swatter.
I have to say, I'm with you. That's how I like to shoot them.
Look, what y'all are saying don't hold water. You shooting an extra full choke, so you ain't killing nothing. We get them at 15 yards.
Negative.
I'm shooting, I would cut off a foot of my barrel, if it was allowable. But y'all won't let me do it. But I'm shooting an open bore.
A blunderbuss.
So when I shoot, and trust me, I patterned all the new guns chokes. And the one that I kept, the reason I kept it was the open bore, because, hey, I could kill a hummingbird, can't get through my shells.
So move a little closer to your mic. So welcome, Uncle Si.
Where did Si come from? What have you been doing?
Si is in the Unashamed Podcast Command Center. Welcome, Si.
Right. Well, pleasure to be here with you guys.
It's good to be here. And when we start with about claiming ducks, which, Si was on the cover of one Duckman video. out of all the ones we did. I mean, there were some multiple pictures of our family, but you were on one by yourself, and the title of it was The Art of Claiming Ducks.
Yeah, I think that was Phil's idea. Blame your brother for that.
Well, no. Well, hey, I understand why. Okay.
No, I know.
Not only is there an art to claiming them. Okay. There's a art to kill them, okay, to back up the claiming. Okay, and I got them both.
So I knew we had problems while you were sleeping in the duck blind, we put shells filled with baby powder in your gun, and you raised up and shot twice and said, well, boys, I went two for two. I said, Si, you see all this white powder? We had powder in your bullets. And he said, well, they must have been defective, because when I pulled the trigger, they folded.
That's right.
Well, she had 3 men on his right and 3 men on his left shooting at him.
Si, how good do you have to be to kill ducks with baby powder? I mean, you're some kind of
that's what I'm talking about. I kill them no matter what they do to my gun. I still kill them.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Man. I keep hearing these stories, Phil, when y'all were coming up. So I always said the phrase in among the Robertson men was, who is a man?
Who's a man?
So when I met this guy.
That was the mantra. We carried that one, that's why no shoes, nope. Barefoot only. Yeah. We travel barefoot about 2 years at the peak of the Who's a Man. No shoes allowed. So I look back at it now.
It's kind of dumb.
A lot of getting drunk. And you bring in an arm wrestler. This is arm wrestling king. A lot of that was mixed in, getting on the highway. And we figured out that a human being on a 40-yard run in the middle of the pavement, everybody drinking. We get out there.
It was Highway 167
and
going
you can
into
park
Arkansas.
your car, and the bet would be I can outrun any vehicle at 40 yards. 40 yards
drag racing, a human being drag racing a vehicle.
I continue to make money with that and making a lot of money. But the arm wrestling was there at the bar.
That was out back. So I used to.
The arm wrestling reminds me of my days of wickedness.
Why's it got to be wicked?
Well, arm man, we were
nothing against you, Michael.
We were children of the devil, my man.
Al used 2 phrases that stuck in my mind, and I had an out-of-body experience while Al is giving the lesson.
He told me this in the foyer.
I had to go tell him. I chased him down.
I hadn't heard about this out-of-body experience.
No. I went down there. I said, Lisa was standing there. I said, where'd Al go? He's in the back. So I run out back. He's talking to somebody. Wait till he gets through. So I said, boy, that was a good one, Al. I said, you gave me an out-of-body experience, or maybe it's a vision from God.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but while you was preaching, here's what, and me thinking about it is what's scary.
No, it was scary when you said it was an out-of-body experience.
No, it gets worse, because when I was telling Al, I said, when you was talking about, Al said, John the Baptist finally submits to Jesus and baptized him, okay, because Jesus says these words, let it be so. Quit arguing with me. Let it be so, okay, because it fulfills all righteousness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then John the Baptist relented and baptized him, and then the heavens opened up, and what looked like a dove come from heaven and lit on Jesus and stayed there. Well, guess what? The one that sent John the Baptist to pave the way for the Lord had told him, the one you see the Spirit land on and stay, this is my son. And then the voice from heaven said, this is my son in whom I am well pleased. Well, while all this is going on, Al takes it back to the beginning. In the beginning was the Father, the Word, and the Spirit was hovering over the water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, when he said that, and Al had said that phrase, and then this is a big moment in time. Okay,
it is the moment.
Yeah, this is a big moment in time. This is a special moment in time. Here's what I thought. I said, and I even said it and said, the Spirit is hovering over the water today, waiting on you to make your choice to come down and take advantage of what's being offered.
That's right.
When he said that, I said, the Holy Spirit is hovering over the water, And I said, then one comes down and submits to, he heard the gospel, he submit to it and is baptized. At that moment, the Holy Spirit penetrates the egg of eternity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then enters that being when he comes out of the water, and he is born again, okay, not of perishable seed,
Yeah.
but imperishable.
He becomes eternal.
He becomes an eternal being.
Yeah, that's right.
You know?
That's why you can't kill us.
You know, and I said,
I love that.
and I got, I said, and I had thought of a lot of other stuff, but I looked at, then I go back
Then
on
you
some
saw
of the,
yourself, you felt something leave your body.
well, no,
Turn around.
no, I'm just looking.
I'm trying to
and
get back to that.
Well, no, the scary part was that I actually thought, okay, the Holy Spirit penetrates the egg of eternity and then enters a being and changes him from a mortal being to, and gives him immortality.
Yeah, and you're in on that.
And I'm part of that.
So then you
So-
were so excited. It
So,
felt
yeah.
like
Oh, no. So, yeah,
like
I got
an
all fired
out-of-body.
up. Trust
Yeah.
me.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
So that was exciting because I mean I love it because Si is so engaged, and a lot of our church is, but that's exactly what we were talking about. And then I said, I think on the podcast, Jase, that the idea I got about that hovering over the water actually came from Jase, something he said here on the podcast when we were back doing Genesis like a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it just plants a seed
See, we're getting all our ideas for the lessons right here.
right here.
Do you know what got my attention? Because I'm a wilderness, water type person. Everything I'm looking at the creation because it points to the Creator. When I saw that phrase hovering over the water, well, that got my attention.
That's right.
Because
yeah,
you know what turns me on is a duck hovering over the water. I was thinking, a
That's it.
mojo just it's hovering over the water. So when I saw that, in Genesis 1:2, when it says the Holy Spirit was hovering over the water, and then I thought, well, wait a minute. The Holy Spirit still hovers over the water.
No.
When a person surrenders to
That's
Jesus,
why.
That's right.
Yeah.
you receive the
Yeah.
Holy Spirit.
That's
So
right.
I thought, boy, I'm into that.
Well,
So
I had added a link in my sermon that I had thought about since you and I talked about that in Acts 2, whenever God ushered in the sort of the era of the Holy Spirit available for everybody, because there had been Spirit-filled people throughout.
Well, the phrase it says in Acts 2, which I've because there's a lot of debate in the religious world and confusion about that, but there's a phrase in Acts 2 that I think clears up exactly what happened. I can read it, but it says the Holy Spirit was poured out.
Yep.
That's right.
Well, you think about, why do you pour something out? What is the purpose of pouring something out? Is so that you can get at it.
Well, share it.
Well, it's like if you
You
poured
actually
you
share it.
a cup of milk, why'd you pour it? So you can drink it.
Right. Everybody wants to know what's in the tea jug. And I said, well, it's tea.
Hey, that's the elixir of life. Okay. Hey, Dr. Oz said that when we was on his show.
He did.
Yeah.
He asked.
Yeah.
He asked.
Antioxidants.
He said, "Si, who has the healthiest liver?" And nobody guessed you. And he said, "Uncle Si has the healthiest liver."
Yeah, Jessica took him, but she jumped up and she said, I am, because I'm the youngest. And he's the wrong answer. That old man is. And she said, what? That old man? There ain't no way he's got better kidneys than I have. He said, yes, he does, because he drinks all that tea.
That's right.
It's full of antioxidants, I think is what he called them.
That's exactly what he
That's
said.
healthy.
And so it's and just so everybody knows, so Si, everybody thinks you're drinking sweet tea, but you don't drink sweet tea, right?
No, I had to correct them all the time. I said, hey, look, I'm crazy enough as I am. If I drank sweet tea and drank 2 gallons of it a day, can you imagine what you might see?
Be pretty revved up.
Yeah, it was, hey, that'd be, I don't know.
We don't want to know.
We may not want to even show that.
Well, we haven't had you on the podcast in a while, but you recently had a procedure done to expand your lung capacity, because you have COPD, which is kind of a degenerative lung disease. So tell folks about what
stupidity on my part.
Yeah, too much smoking, right?
Cigarettes. Yeah, smoking cigarettes for 30 years is stupid. Okay, that's what's caused all this. Yeah, stupidity on my part.
But you're here, and so we want you to be around a little longer. So what did they do to you? And you look good. So apparently, because you just had this done a few days ago, right?
Yep, had Wednesday, the 7th.
Right.
What Dr. Connolly did is he inserted a tube down my throat. Then he goes in and looks at my lungs. We had about a month prep. I had to take all kind of X-rays and go to the heart doctor, and get an okay for it from her. You know, and she actually put the scope up and checked my heart out, and everything's good. So I finally got all of that done, and then we'll go over there the 7th. Surgery took, it ain't surgery, it's an implant. It took about an hour. They go in and he puts a balloon in my lung, blows it up. It shuts off the oxygen supply. That's the only reason they could put them valves in there. If it had not done that, couldn't have done the procedure. But anyway, he blows the balloon up. It shuts the oxygen off. He deflates it and then puts 6 Suffolk valves. Okay, and when they're working, you see them working. He showed me a picture of it. It looks like a brim opening and closing his mouth. I'm serious.
A brim as in the fish?
Oh, yeah, just giving me air, because what it's doing is letting, before, when I would inhale, my lungs would expand, everything would be cool, but then I couldn't exhale. So I've got all this bad air trapped in my lungs.
Oh, yeah.
So all he did, he put 6 in there, and he said, you'll have an even flow now for the bad air to go out.
Well, you need to rename it, Si. Name it the Chinky Pan procedure, which is
No. Dr. Conley got too, because I said, hey, my nickname from when I was young was Perch Mouth. That's what Phil called me. So he said, when he was talking to me the rest of the whole time I was over.
I'd forgotten that, Si. Perch Mouth.
No, he said, well, Perch Mouth, you ought to feel better, But hey, no, I hate to say this for the doctors and nurses and everybody involved at Houston Medical Methodist Hospital. Very, very excellent care.
But the resurrection is looming larger.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I just tell everybody now, yeah. Death ain't nothing but just change of address, boys. But I will tell you this. This made me look at what God... You got to understand something. You're looking at dirt, for crying out loud. That's what I was made out of.
Yeah.
You talking about amazing, okay? You talking about some soul, boys, right here. Yeah. Okay, look, 100,000 miles of blood vessels and arteries in this old man's bodies. That'll go around the earth about twice.
So,
you lost me on that one, but I'll take your word for it.
No. Hey, check it out. You can Google it.
Google it.
You'll find out it's true.
Like twice a year is the only time we got to see, because you were deployed, you're overseas a lot. But you managed to hunt still through that whole process. And I want you to describe that a little bit, because you've told stories before about hunting in Germany and all that. How did you maintain being able to do that wherever you were? I mean, because we all hunted here. You'd come in and hunt with us, for that couple of weeks during the holiday.
Well, in Germany, I had a buddy of mine, and he got me to go with him a couple of times to hunt. And he said, when he got ready to leave, he's being shipped somewhere else. He said, hey, you need to take over teaching the hunting class, the German hunting class. So that's how I got hooked into that.
What was that all about? You taught the Germans how to hunt?
Yeah. No. I taught the Americans the German way to hunt.
Oh.
Because they have a lot of tradition. Okay. Like
really? Do they duck hunt in Germany?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they hunt everything.
Huh.
And like when you kill a deer, you go to an oak tree and break a limb, a leaf off.
Oh, no.
And put it in their mouth. It's called last rites.
You gave the deer a branch?
A branch. You put a branch of oak.
And you did this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In Germany?
Why am I just now hearing about this?
Well, you didn't ever ask me.
What about
hey, if you'd asked me, I'd have told you the story.
what about the deer you shot and he went out in the mustard field and died?
Oh no. Yeah, me and my buddies hunting. Okay, he went to the school and I taught him, and then I took him on a revere that I was on.
A what?
Well, a revere. That's what they call it. It's like a ranch.
Ranch.
It's like it'd be like your property down there.
I got you.
Okay, so we go hunting and the mustard field is, they're fixing to harvest it. Okay, it's about all shoulder high. The mustard flowers, all of it solid yellow. We'll never think of them, but okay.
I mean, it's a pretty field.
Oh yeah, beautiful thing. And they're all over Germany in the harvest time. So we're hunting, and I said, hey, there's a buck, and he'll be out there about probably 150 yards. Don't shoot at him; he's too far. So he's sitting there. Well, hey, the buck pops up just like I said, and I hear, so I come up there. It's dark, right before dark.
That was a kitty tow. Wow.
Well, whatever.
That's quite the explanation of gunfire.
Well, no. Anyway,
It was in German, right?
I see him. He's out there walking through this stuff, and he said, "I shot a deer." I said, "Get out of there!" I said, "Get out of there!" So he come walking up, and I said, "What?" He said, "I shot a buck right out there." I said, "Well, number one, you're 100 yards this side of where you shot that deer. I can't believe you shot him." I said, "You sure he fell?" And he said, "Yeah, he fell." I said, "Well, you idiot, come on." He's been walking all through the field, So I said, "Come on, let's go right over here." And I said, "Then I'll tell you exactly where your deer is laying."
Well, how would you know that?
Because he popped up I've been watching him for 5 days. So look, I walk him up there and I said, okay, go out there about 35 yards. He'll be out there. Look, he goes out there and he said, well, come help me drag him out. Well, I go in there and help him. And look, we wasn't even thinking about the mustard gas. So look, we're staggering after we done pulled the deer out. We're staggering and I'm talking about, whoa. I said, man, I got a buzz on here.
This explains a lot.
No. So look, we take the deer to the guy that owns the property, and we're telling him. He said, "Oh no, you didn't, and he could speak English, and he got all just was blurring German there for a while. And I said, whoa,
they die when they go out there.
No, yeah. And they said, no, you don't understand. He said, when we harvest this, he said we got to wear gas masks.
But they're letting y'all hunt in it?
Oh yeah, no. He said, don't you ever hear the word gas? Mustard gas. And then we said, oh yeah. But we literally got high off of mustard gas. He said, y'all could have died, both of you.
Did he get the deer?
Oh yeah. Funny when it happens to someone else.
Yeah.
Because you were talking about the bumblebees. I don't know if you remember. Me and you went squirrel hunting, and you was in front of me, and you crawled under a fence in between the barbed wire, and it was a rotten post that they was up in. Well, Phil shook them up real good and went on through. Well, I've been over, well, when I did, I ripped my pants.
I remember that like it was yesterday.
Oh, no. And all we heard was, whoa, just a roar, well, he takes off. He's fast dime. He played quarterback.
How old were we, Si?
You was, 16? I was 14, I guess. But anyway, I tripped behind him. And I had seen it on TV or read it or something about, well, if you fall down, they'll just go over you if you don't move. Well, I didn't know my underwear was hanging out.
So how much TV were you watching at 14?
Well, I'm just saying. Hey,
it was like a white flag.
TV wasn't even around.
No, look, but it was like it reminds me of the World War II live footage of the guys in fighter, flying the plane, and the leader would look and say, and then they'd, whoa. Well, hey, when I got home, my mother, as she was pulling stingers out of my rear end.
Only a mother could do that.
Look here. She's laughing. And I said, it ain't that funny. She said, yeah. She said, young man, this is the biggest your behind will ever be. 27 times. So, hey, you saw me getting dope pops.
Well, I don't feel near as bad about my little one stick.
I was fixed that. Oh, no. I mean, you talking about rough.
Is that the only time? Do you ever got like a storm like that?
No, we used to take a little 1x1 board and go out in the barn and hit big bumblebees. You know, it would be up there. You know, well, I hit one and knocked him down. Well, he jumped up and just right here. Look, and we just look. I literally
We call that the Rudolph hit, Si.
no. I literally had to walk to school because I looked like Jimmy Durante. My nose, I'm sorry, I tell you, it was big as a softball.
Jimmy who?
Jimmy Durante. It's something like that.
I never heard of that cat.
No, he's got a big snout. Okay, he was a comedian.
He was born that way, and you were made that way.
Yeah, I was made that way by a big bad bumblebee.
Podcast one day.
Jimmy Durante actually is his name.
Well, I was close.
Oh, you're right. Here he is.
Oh no, he's got a snoot on him now.
He's got a big, that's what your nose looks like.
He got his natural, but you got yours the other way around.
Hey, I had to walk about a week and a half sideways.
Yeah, there you go.
Couldn't see otherwise. Big as a softball, you figure having a softball for a nose.
So, did you learn your lesson about?
I quit knocking bumblebees with boards.
I remember when I was a kid, me and my cousin Mark Caraway, I was over visiting in Ida, and we thought it was a good idea. They had a big old red wasp nest about this big as a dinner plate. We thought we had a great idea to throw rocks at them and kill them on the nest.
Yeah.
Not really realizing what would happen when that first rock hit the nest. And they chased us down the street. I mean, just, about every third one just swoop in and pop you around the back of the neck.
Uncle FM, okay, he had a oil leak that he had to go check all the time. Well, it had bass ponds on it, and he'd go fishing, and we'd go with him. And he had a Willis Jeep with a hard top on it. We'd all pile in the back, and he'd get in, on the hard top, windows and everything. We come around a fork in the road, and there's a big old bush over there, and there's a purple-tailed wasp nest about that big around. And you couldn't have put another one on it. Well, he just pulls up there, stomps on the brake, puts in reverse, and backs us in that bush.
On purpose.
On purpose. No.
He was our uncle, and there was about 5 or 6 of us in the back.
Hold on.
And he just rammed it in, and the walls just poured in on us.
We can't even get out. We're in just brush, and they are just paya.
You talk about a tough.
Hey,
That's
he
a
just shut the
real
engine
good
off.
uncle.
Yeah, he just shut the engine off and there died laughing.
It's all making sense now.
Are you starting to understand that?
It's all making sense now. What the lack of compassion that I felt my whole life for my uncles. I know where it came from now.
Yeah,
no, they was mean.
As bad as it was, Zach, it wasn't that bad. I mean, they were a little lighter than that. Nobody backed me into a giant wasp nest.
No, look, that was Uncle FM Hale.
Yep.
Okay, and that's why he was so mean. His last name.
Well, what about your aunt that used to paint y'all?
Oh no, that was a Hobbs's. Okay.
Okay.
Aunt Irene, we'd go there visit and eat a big fine meal.
She could pinch you with her toes.
Oh no, look, hey, you'd be taking a bite to eat something, and the next thing you hear, look, and hey, come out. And just blood spurting everywhere. You just reached you down there with that big toe and that other one that just cut you.
Probably had a big old nail on it.
I don't know what it was, but she had cut you with her toenail.
Oh, man. I guess were you cutting up, or she just did it to do it?
She just did it for a laugh. She'd be over there just dying laughing, and I'm over here bleeding.
Well, that's a tough upbringing.
Oh no!
That's when you bathed in a number 3 wash tub.
Yeah. And I was
get some well water and pour it over in a tub, number 3 wash tub, and let it warm up in the sun a little bit. Yep. That's where people took their baths. All the kids.
By birth order, right? Is that
all the kids?
I got the last one.
Oldest ones first.
Hey, I took a bath in muddy water.
Well,
I never was clean.
Well, you probably had the warmest water.
Yeah, probably warmed up pretty good after 2 or 3 feet in there.
Forget about being
would you
clean,
say
though.
we were poor?
Had about as poor as a snake's belly.
So we're out of time, but we have our overtime segment that you can get to if you go to blazetv.com/unashamed. And just as a reminder, look, you don't get our overtime for Unashamed for this particular podcast, but you're also getting everything Blaze has to offer, including 800 episodes of In the Woods with Phil, which is many hours of wisdom from Dad. So check that out if you want, blazetv.com/unashamed. And we've also got a little bonus Si involved as well. So check out our overtime segment.
Thanks for listening to the Unashamed podcast. Help us out by rating us on iTunes. And don't miss an episode by subscribing on YouTube, and be sure to click that little bell to get notified about new episodes. And for even more content that you won't get anywhere else, subscribe to Blaze TV at blazetv.com/unashamed.